Joe, many congratulations. Through once again through the first round. Tell us how you're feeling after that.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the performance. Yeah, I'm all round happy. It was a good performance, finished well, scored well. Yeah, can't ask for much more, to be honest.
Bradley Brooks was quite a tough draw on paper. Did you have to sharpen your mind before this contest?
Yeah, paper's the key word there. Bradley's had a good year. He's played well. He's probably had his best year to date, but I've been rubbish and I've had a better year than him. So make it out what you will. I think that was a bit of motivation there. I didn't realise at the time that he was favourite for the game. My son told me, he said, how's Bradley Brooks favourite for the game? Like I say, I would expect that on a pro tour. I think Bradley would be favourite 100%, but not on that stage. I think something comes into me. I just itching to do well on that stage.
You averaged over 99 in the game and over 112 in the second set. Do you think your game's at a really good spot right now?
No, been terrible all year. Been so up and down. But yeah, this is where it matters. You know, you can not win a game the whole year and then go and win the World Championships, and you're in everything and you're full of confidence. I'm not saying that's how it works, but this is where you need to do the stuff. You know, you see so many people miss out on Premier League spots from. They've won the UK Open, they've done well early in the year, but there's a recency bias within things. So if you do well here, this is what everyone remembers. You know, you can get announced out as a Grand Slam champion, a Grand Prix champion. There's nothing quite like being announced out as a world champion.
And it's David Cameron or Mensah Suljovic in the next round. How are you preparing for that tie?
I'll wait to see who wins, and then I'll prepare differently. Obviously, Mensah plays a lot different to David Cameron does, so. I'm of the opinion if I play well, then I'll be tough to beat. So yeah, that I won't be preparing any different than I was today, to be honest.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Joe, congratulations. What is it about this place that brings the best out in you? Because no matter what happens, what form you're in, you come here and something changes. Can you put your finger on what it is?
Well, no, I was terrible for the first 7 years. 6, 7 years, I think. I don't think I won a game for the first 6, 7 years. I'm not sure. I'm just desperate to do well. And again, I think if it had been, there's a few favourable draws in this draw. Let's be honest. I think if I'd have got one of the favourable draws, I might have been a little bit complacent, maybe come a little bit unstuck, and maybe just scraped over the line. But I knew with Bradley I had to play well. And I think after the first set, I was a bit nervy the first set. I think after that, I said to myself with the break, come out firing in the second set. It was my darts, and I played great in the second set. And I just thought it's a long way back for 2-0 for anyone. So yeah, it was a big win for me.
We've seen it in the match play. We've seen it in the last 2 years here. When you're not favourite or people write you off, you get the hump. You get the hump, and it inspires you. How do you get to that place mentally that you don't need to be triggered like that?
I don't know. We literally we obviously crossed paths in an exhibition in Northampton this year, and I don't know. I just, as I say, I knew Bradley was a tough game, and then I just still thought I would be favourite. And then my son told me, he said, "Oh, Bradley's 8-13 favourite." I'm like, how? You know, that's nothing against Bradley, but I just thought, well, I'm so much more experience on that stage than he is, and I just dig performances out from somewhere. Believe me, fellas, no one more frustrated than me.
And obviously, not a great year, but how much are you hoping that a run here can catapult you into 2026 in the right frame of mind and getting off on the right foot?
Yeah, well, define a great year. I've not had a great year. I've still won 2 tournaments. There's people who've been so consistent over the year and not won a thing. So which way would you rather have it? Would you rather have consistency over the year and not win a thing? Or would you rather win tournaments? I know which way I'd have it. I'd love to be more consistent, but I've won 2 tournaments this year, and there's people that would love to be sat in this seat now. Thank you. Cheers, Phil.
Well done today, Joe.
Josh.
Really good performance out there. How do you go about replicating that performance in the next round? Because there's been a couple of occasions maybe where you haven't followed it up as you would have liked to have done.
When were those performances?
I think last year, I think you were really good against Vessel, and then maybe weren't.
The ones that rubbish against Gerwin? I thought I played alright against Gerwin, did you?
I can't remember the game, Josh.
You can't remember the game? You can't remember 170 to make it... You can't remember that? Really? Maybe you do your research, mate.
Are there any...
Scuppered you there. Go on, carry on.
Are there any similarities in your mindset from the game today to what it was like against Vessel last year?
Yeah, definitely is. You're right with that. And there's definitely similarities, obviously with Bradley being favourite. But I don't think he was talked about as much as Vessel. And I think even Vessel's alluded to that. I think you alluded to it yesterday when he won. He didn't want that attention, and I think that hindered him because I played so well. I was so up for the game. But yeah, there's definitely similarities, but I was so up for the game today. Didn't feel like I could lose.
You mentioned about experience earlier. That stage experience is something that was very much on your side against Bradley Brooks this afternoon. Is that something that a key factor that maybe we don't look into enough?
Yeah, maybe so, yeah. Like I say, I think Bradley's had a great year, but there's a big difference between doing it on the floor and winning tournaments on the floor to doing it on that stage. Even it's obviously it's a little bit easier to do it on like the minors stage or the Blackpool stage or anything like that, but the world stage is different. You know, I woke up this morning and felt nerves that I don't feel at any other tournament, and it's not even justified. So yeah, I 100% agree. Nice one.
Joe, well played. That was a great performance. You said in your own words this year you've won 2 tournaments, but it's been inconsistent.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's been inconsistent? Because it was a little bit the same last year as well. You just couldn't seem to find that consistency over the 12 months.
Yeah, just a lack of motivation, lack of putting the work in. So yeah, I'm to blame. The buck stops with me at the end of the day. So yeah, I think it's literally as simple as that. If you get in what you put out. I put the work in before this. Put the work in before the Worlds last year, but that's not sustainable long term. You need to put the work in over the course of the year, and you see the boys that are doing that. You know, look at Damon Hetter, Vessel Neiman. You look at the boys constantly in the quarters, constantly in the latter end of tournaments on the floor. But again, TV's a different thing, especially here.
We speak to some players, and Ryan Searle is a great example, and he's been quite open that he's almost happy earning a decent amount of money and not putting in loads of time and using that time with you know his friends and family and so on. Where is your mindset? Do you want to start putting that work in to get to that next level, or are you just happy where you're at the moment?
I don't know. Honestly, it's a day-to-day thing. I 100% agree, understand what Ryan's saying, and I can relate to it a lot. But it's just, what do you want out of it? What do you want out of it? You know, everyone wants to be world champion, but there's a difference between. You look at the 2 Lukes; they're miles ahead of everyone. I know I pair up with Luke if it goes to that, but they're miles ahead of everyone, and you can just tell that the hunger and the determination and the motivation. Motivation is a massive thing in darts, and with motivation, you know, if you've got confidence as well, motivation and confidence together are so tough to beat. But yeah, I think something needs to change next year. I'm not happy going through the motions. Like I've obviously had some ups this year and won a couple of tournaments, but some of the games, if you come off from a game, there's players, and without sounding sort of a bit derogatory, there's players that shouldn't beat me, and they beat me comfortably, and that's down to me, not them. You know, so something needs to change next year, 100%.
You've mentioned in this press conference a few times how Bradley was favourite, and obviously we had last year with Vessel Neiman, he was the favourite as well with the bookmakers. Why do you care so much about that, about who they label as the favourite?
I don't care. Do you know what? I don't care so much in that aspect. It's more of a ironically, the amount of times motivation has been mentioned in this press conference, I use it as motivation because I just think, well, how is Bradley favourite against me? How? Would you have him favourite?
I'd have even money both ways, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
On this stage?
Yeah, well, personally I would, yeah, but...
Yeah, well...
It was even, but all the money was wrong. That's what happened.
It was 8-13.
Yeah, no, but it started even. His odds went down, yours went up.
Yeah, because people got wise.
The people were backing in, that's what happened. Honestly, it started even money, even
well,
better. He got let back down to 8-13 by people backing in for whatever reason. And your odds flipped out to the point you get 8-13 when you were allowed to it.
Yeah, well, I don't look at odds honestly. I looked at them last year, I'll be honest, last year, but this year I didn't look at them, and my son said how's 8-13? He didn't really understand odds, and he was like, 8-13 is, yes, it is what it is, but I use it as motivation, definitely.
Joe, great performance anyway, well done.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Joe. Was it important to put Bradley under pressure as early as you could in that game? To obviously, because he's never won here on that stage, and you have all that experience. Was it important to get into him early?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I thought to myself. before the game even started. I knew, like I said, Bradley's played some fantastic darts this year, and I think he'll be disappointed with today, but he'll look back on it as a whole and think, I've had a solid year there. I think it was his best year to date. But yeah, I knew if you give him any encouragement and gets a bit confident, that he would have pushed on. Excuse me. But the second set, I just thought to myself, go out and just batter him in the second set because it was my darts, and that's what I did. It's a long way back from 2-0, and no matter who you are and how well you're playing or how well your opponents play, it's a long way back from 2-0.
And was that performance pleasing overall with the average, what you did on the doubles? Was that what more you expect from yourself than you have been provided on the big stage this year in general?
Yeah, but it's amazing what a bit of practice does. It's literally, the irony is glaring. I've put the work in up leading up to this, knowing that I won a big Worlds. But yeah, I'm such an enigma to myself. Like I say, I'm where I am now is because of me, but I'm not where I should be if I put as much work as everyone else in. But that's down to me. The book stops with me.
And is that just the performance you need confidence-wise in this tournament to help you go all the way and realise the potential that you expect of yourself?
Yeah, the performance is so pleasing, but I would have took a 78 average, absolutely scabbing it on doubles. I don't care. A win on that stage. It took me a good few years to win on that stage. So, win by any means. That was my mindset going into it. So, to win and play well is even more pleasing. But any performance, as long as I come out the right end of it, is pleasing.
Well done, Joe.
Nice one, mate. Cheers.